In this courseware video, we will explore the creation and manipulation of polyline effect masks. We'll start by creating a new composition, then selecting the Loader button in the toolbar and browsing to the courseware footage standing folder. Click on the file you find here, then display it and view it in one of the displays. This is a 10 frame only clip, so set your render end to 10 and set your global end to 10 as well. If you press play, you'll see that this is a simple shot of a character standing up. Make sure you're at frame 0, set the display view to fit, and then give yourself space to work. Our intention is to make the character's face scarier, and we'll do this by taking a brightness contrast tool, or the BC button in the toolbar, and clicking and dragging it into the display view, automatically adding a brightness contrast tool to the flow and connecting it to our loader. We then take the contrast up on the brightness contrast tool, and then we'll reduce the gain ever so slightly. I've used values of 0.54 for the contrast and 0.92 for the gain. Our next intention is to add an effect mask so that that mask only takes place over the face of our character. We click on the Polygon Mask button in the toolbar, and this automatically adds a polygon mask to the brightness contrast tool and connects it to the mask input on that tool. A toolbar appears down the left side of the display view. This toolbar appears whenever a polygon mask or another mask tool is selected. Right-click and select Icon Size Normal and Button Style Icons and Text Labels from the menu that appears. This will give you larger buttons, which give you a little bit better view of each of the buttons and options that are available to you. We start in Click Append mode. Click Append mode means that I can just click once, and each time I click, I add a new segment or a new point with a segment connected to it, which defines the shape of my mask. When I click on the last point, Fusion closes the polygon, and you'll see that the mode changes from Click Append to Insert and Modify. Insert and Modify allows me to insert new points or modify existing ones. So we could insert a new point to just give us a little better accurate representation of the shape of the cheekbone here. Now that I've created the shape, I'm ready to start smoothing it or making it more closely match the shape of the face that we're rotoscoping. When we created our shape, we added key points defining the shape. When you select those key points, you see yellow handles. The yellow handles represent the smoothness of the segments. If you click on the Smooth button, you can smooth those segments so that the curve between the 2 points is no longer an exact linear shape. You can also select multiple points and smooth them in one pass. We'll just adjust this point to the edge here to more closely match the edge of the face. And we'll make this one smooth as well. We can also use Shift-S as well as clicking directly on the button. Once the outside of the polygon mask matches the shape of the face, switch to the timeline and open up the polygon entry in the timeline bar. You'll note that a keyframe has been added on a polyline spline. This keyframe represents the shape of the spline in total over the shape. This keyframe represents the shape of the spline using all of the various points. So one keyframe in the spline represents the position of every point in the mask. If we change our current frame to 10 and then adjust the position of the mask to fit our face again, you can see that we've automatically added a keyframe to the shape of the mask. And all we have to do is reposition our points to match the shape again. Using a few small adjustments, we now have the face matched again. Now as we change back through frames, and I'm using the square bracket keys here in order to move forward and backwards in time, one frame at a time. So as I move back in time, we can see that our mask shape is linearly interpolating between 0 and 10. We can also see that the motion of our mask should not be linear. We need to add additional points in order to refine the movement. Move to frame 5, select all of the points, and adjust the position of the mask again and so that it once again fits over the face. Now we can see that the motion is matched between frame 0 and frame 5, but between 5 and 10 there's still a little refinement that needs to be done. So change frames to frame 8, then reposition the mask, and check finally to see if we've got a good decent match. Our match looks reasonably good. Look at the shape without the controls displayed by turning off Show Controls in the toolbar, and we can see that a small amount of soft edge would not hurt. So bring up the soft edge on our mask until the shape blends in smoothly with the rest of our face. Note that these changes do not affect the polyline mask animation. Now re-enable Show Controls, then select Done Mode from the toolbar across the side of the view, or use Shift+N. This will change the display of the polygons from Insert and Modify to Done, which prevents additional changes from being made. Change back to the flow by either hitting F5 on your keyboard or clicking on the Flow button in the tab. Right-click in an empty area of the flow, then select Add Tool, Mask, B-Spline, and view it in the left or the right display view. Start clicking to add points. Like the Bezier curve, the B-Spline curve is entered in Click Append mode, which means that each time we click, we add a new segment to the shape. Unlike Bezier curves, we can see that these shapes are automatically smoothed rather than linear. We can also see that our points do not define the edge or the boundary of the shape, rather they define a bounding box. By selecting any of the individual points, we can adjust it to move its position, or by holding down the W key and dragging and clicking with the mouse to the left and the right, we can adjust the tension of the B-spline shape. B-splines are very popular for rotoscoping organic shapes. For example, in the case of our character, we could easily have positioned the points so that they lined up with the edges of the face, then used the W key in order to adjust the smoothness of the polyline shape until we got something that very closely resembled what we were looking for. And again, a little softness would do the trick here. However, another option that's available is that in Infusion, you can also convert a polygon mask into a B-spline. For example, select the Polygon tool, then right-click, select Polygon 1 Polyline from the menu, and then find Bezier to B-spline in the menu that appears. Click once, and Fusion will automatically convert the Bezier curve that you had into a B-spline curve instead. Additionally, Fusion will preserve the animation so that the animation you have applied so far is not lost when you do the conversion. This concludes our courseware video for polylines.